The sky over Earth's Sector 12 was calm. Blue clouds floated like soft cotton. The alien base outside the city stood tall, silent, and secure. The aliens called it Observation Hub 9, one of many across the planet. Inside, thousands of alien officers watched human life through glowing screens. Their main focus, the children. They believed the key to Earth's future power rested in their young minds. Not in weapons, not in ships, but in the next generation of humans. So they had quietly placed learning centers under alien monitoring. Secretly, silently. Humans didn't know. Or so the aliens thought. That morning, just after 0800 hours Earth time, everything was normal. At Hope Valley School, 328 human children arrived for their classes. Boys and girls between 8 to 14 years old ran through the halls, laughed in the playground, and sat in colorful classrooms. Alien observers inside the walls, hidden in cloaked surveillance rooms, noted everything. Heart rates, brain waves, movement, speech patterns. The children were monitored like rare animals, every second, every breath. At 0815, a soft tone rang. Classes began. By 0821, every single child was gone. Gone, in less than 9 seconds. All 328 of them. No doors were opened. No windows were broken. No sounds were heard. No panic. No screams, just gone. The classrooms were silent. Chairs sat empty. Papers fluttered in the air. Crayons rolled across the floors. The teachers stood frozen, their eyes blank. They were breathing but not moving. Then something even stranger happened. The alien monitors watching live footage froze. Not their screens. Their minds. One of the alien techs, Commander Vosh, blinked twice. His 3-fingered hand reached for the control pad, but stopped midway. His fingers wouldn't move. His throat tightened. He whispered, "What? Is this?" All around him, alien operators were shaking. Not in fear, in confusion. Their systems were still online. Cameras showed static. Sensors read full power. But something impossible had just occurred. "Play the last 2 minutes of footage," Vosh ordered. An officer ran the feedback. The screen showed a classroom. Children were writing. A girl with short black hair stood up slowly. She was 11. Her name was Mia Lane. She looked up, stared directly into the camera. Her lips moved. "Begin." That's when the screen went white. Static. Double quotes. "No breach," a voice said. "No teleportation signal. No energy surge. No physical trace of removal." Another alien officer whispered, "This wasn't abduction. This was activation." The room went silent. Inside the Galactic High Council's outpost, 4 light years away, a large gray room lit with red glowing rings sat deep in the command core of the Galactic Council. 12 different alien races formed a circle around a wide holographic screen. All watched the same footage. The humans were not supposed to know about the surveillance program. And yet, one child had looked into the hidden camera. One child had spoken. "Begin." What did it mean? Counselor Trell, a tall creature of scales and golden eyes, narrowed his gaze. "She spoke to us, or to someone above us." Either way, this was not a coincidence. A silent alarm blinked on the screen. 12 more schools across Earth's aim. Event, children gone. Zero trace. Back on Earth, inside Hope Valley School, the human teachers remained standing, still frozen. A soft beeping came from their wrists. The alien chips embedded secretly in the adult skin were failing, melting, one after another. The devices sparked and vanished as if erased by code. Then, one teacher, Mr. Darren, moved. He blinked, looked around. His mouth opened. "Is it over?" He asked softly. Commander Vosh, still watching from the surveillance base, leaned forward. "Did he say over?" Mr. Darren walked slowly to the center of the room. He stared at the empty desks. No fear. No tears, they left, he said. Like they practiced. The alien command center turned cold. If humans had been preparing this, that meant they knew all along. Knew they were being watched. Knew about the alien monitoring. And they let it continue. Until now. Alien. Analysis Room Sector 12. The top alien data scientist, Glor, tapped a claw against the control pad. We have no readings, not even from their breath. This wasn't teleportation. It wasn't dimensional shift. Then what was it? Vosh asked. Glor slowly turned to him. This was ... permission. Permission? Yes, someone gave them permission to go somewhere we cannot follow. They didn't escape. They were allowed to leave. Back at the Galactic Council, panic was spreading. Footage was shared. Reports flew in. In total, 4,681 children across Earth had disappeared, all at the same time, from alien-surveilled schools. No human governments had reacted with panic. No emergency calls, no demands for help. In fact, Earth's government servers had gone quiet. Too quiet. Counselor Vierak, leader of the Surveillance Council, looked pale. Did they know? Another replied, they've known longer than we can imagine. Later that day, human response hours passed. Not a single child returned. But one human broadcast was sent into space. It was short. A woman stood in a black room. Her eyes were closed. She spoke in a calm voice. They passed the test. You failed yours. No explanation. No anger. Just that message. Then silence. Alien. Governments demanded answers. Some wanted to send warships. Others called for investigation teams. But deep down, they were all afraid. Because they knew one thing for certain now. Humanity was no longer behind them. They were ahead. And hiding it. VOSZ single quotes S final report. Classified log entry. They were never the ones being observed. We were. They let us into their classrooms, their cities, their clouds. And all this time we thought we were in control. But today, children disappeared without struggle. Because they were waiting. Not for us. But for a signal. And someone gave it. Find out who. Before they give the next one. Final scene. A quiet cave on Mars far away. Beneath the red surface of Mars. Inside a deep-sealed cave, soft blue light flickered. Hundreds of children sat in circles. Calm. Focused. In front of each, a glowing symbol hovered mid-air. It was not written in any known language. One of the girls looked up. Mia Lane, are they watching? She asked. A voice from the dark replied, not human, not alien. No, they are wondering. She smiled. Then it's time they learn how to fear. The screen fades to black. The alien investigation room on Earth was silent. 4 hours had passed since over 4,000 human children had vanished without a single alarm. Every alien surveillance base on Earth was now in full lockdown. No one was allowed to leave. No messages were allowed to go out without approval. Commander Vosh stood in front of a giant black screen. He didn't blink. His claws were tight behind his back. His team had just recovered a strange piece of footage, a short clip from Hope Valley School, a file that should have been deleted, but somehow remained. This file should not exist, the technician whispered. Vosh said nothing. He nodded once. The technician played the clip. The screen showed the classroom, just 5 seconds before the event. The children were sitting, writing quietly. The camera was hidden behind a wall. No one should have seen it, but then the same girl from earlier, Mia Lane, lifted her head. Slowly, calmly. She looked straight at the camera. Her eyes did not blink. Then she smiled. A soft, knowing smile. She lifted her hand and pointed at the ceiling. Her lips moved. No sound. The camera began to glitch. Then ... Her hand dropped, and the entire screen turned white. Static buzzed through the room. All alien officers stepped back. Vosh stared at the frozen screen. Play it again, he said. The technician hesitated. Sir. There's more. Vosh turned sharply. What? The technician pointed to the feed. At frame 218. Something appears behind her. They slowed the footage. Frame by frame. At frame 218. Just behind Mia, something shifted in the air. Not a figure. Not a shadow. A shape. Floating. Flickering. Like folded space. It was there for less than 1 second. Vosh narrowed his eyes. Enhance. It. The technician zoomed in. Stabilized the frame. What they saw made every officer in the room freeze. The shape had no form, but in its middle was a set of 4 glowing circles. Not eyes, not lights, just circles. Pulsing with dim blue energy. They weren't looking at the children. They were watching the camera. Vosh leaned forward. They saw us. High orbit, galactic surveillance ship Silver Edge above Earth's atmosphere. In a cloaked orbit, the large alien ship called Silver Edge floated in silence. It was the command hub of the Earth Observation Project. Inside, the lead analyst, Yoren, stared at his screen. Sweat dripped down his forehead, even though his species didn't sweat. We've recovered 9 seconds of corrupted footage, he whispered. What did it show? Asked Captain Lurik. Yoren swallowed. A command. Not in sound, not in code, but in motion. He played the clip. It was a view from the roof of a school. Dozens of children walking into class. But suddenly, the pattern of their steps changed. Just slightly. Barely noticeable. But together, the movements made a wave like a signal. The children were communicating something. Together, at the same second. In a way no species had ever seen. A quiet language. Of pattern, of timing. A language that bypassed machines. Captain Lurik backed away. This. This is not normal evolution. Yoren nodded. It's coordination, not taught, not spoken, shared. Then the feed died. Earth, secret human meeting. Location unknown, far underground, where no alien satellites could see. 5 human officials sat in a dark chamber. They weren't shocked. They weren't scared. One of them, an old woman with silver hair, was smiling. They're trying to understand, she said softly. They won't, said another. Should we send a response? Asked the third. No, said the woman. We already did. They just don't know it yet. Back at Hope Valley School, alien recovery units were scanning every inch of the building. Floors, walls, ceilings, every material. One officer touched the corner of Mia Lane's desk. The moment his hand made contact, his eyes turned white. He fell backward, screaming, "Get medical!" Someone shouted. But before anyone could touch him, his body floated midair. He opened his mouth and spoke in perfect Earth English, though he had never learned the language. They were not taken, they walked through. Because they built the door, while you watched and laughed. Then he collapsed. His body was unharmed, but his mind was gone. He stared at the ceiling with a soft smile, whispering one word. Home. Galactic. Council emergency broadcast across the galaxy. The footage was being reviewed in secret. Only high-level commanders and scientists were allowed access. One race, the Sarnai famous for breaking codes, tried decoding the glitch in the footage. Something strange happened. Their system overheated. 6 analysts collapsed. The leader of the Sarnai project declared, "It's not a code, it's an invitation, but only for them." Council members asked, "What do you mean?" He replied with shaking hands, "This message isn't to be read. It's to be felt, and it doesn't want us." Meanwhile, a signal in the void in deep space, far from any star, a small probe floated alone. It was launched by humans 5 years ago. Everyone believed it was just a deep space science mission. But now it activated. The probe opened and released a single pulse of energy. One signal. Traveled faster than light. It reached hidden places. And something ancient heard. It. Alien Academy, Planet Trezalan, a classroom on planet Trezal. A young alien cadet was laughing. He had just seen a human documentary about children playing games on Earth. So weak, he said. So distracted, so simple. But then the lights flickered, his screen turned black, and a child's voice spoke. You watched our games, but we were learning to move as one. The cadet froze. He turned to call his teacher, but everyone else in the room had stopped moving. Only he could hear it. You think we're soft, the voice said again. But we're the storm you taught to whisper. Then everything returned to normal. But the cadet never laughed at humans again. Back on Earth, Vosh's final message. Commander Vosh stood alone in the control room. He stared at the image of Mia Lane, frozen on the screen. He pressed record. To whoever watches this, we've been blind. Not because of human tricks, but because of our own pride. These children were not trained by governments. They were prepared by something else. Something waiting behind the curtain. We opened the window. And something opened it wider. He stopped the recording, turned off the lights, and whispered, "We are not alone, not in the way we thought." Final scene, somewhere outside time in a place that had no light, no stars, no ground. The missing children stood in silence. Beside each child was a figure of light. Not a god, not a machine. Something in between. They were listening. One child spoke, her voice gentle. They're watching. US now. Should we show them the second step? A voice, deep and calm, answered, "Not yet. Let them fear the silence first." The rain fell hard over the ruins of Sector 8, a small town once known for peace. Now alien patrol ships flew above every rooftop. Drones scanned the ground. Search teams moved like shadows, hunting for any trace of the missing children. 4 days had passed since the event. The aliens had called it a containment failure. Humans called it something else. The awakening. Commander Vosh hadn't slept in 72 hours. His eyes twitched from exhaustion, but he refused to leave the control center. Too much had gone wrong. Too fast. Too silently. Then at exactly 0300 hours, a signal came through. "Unknown object found," a voice said. "Near Old Mine Sector," Vosh snapped upright. "Object?" "Small body, human-sized. Alone, breathing." 10 minutes later, sight. Alpha, Sector 8 mine. The alien soldiers formed a tight circle around a broken steel doorway. Dust floated in the air. Inside the shadows lay a small shape curled, shaking. Barefoot. A human child. It was Mia Lane, the same girl from the first school. Something was wrong. Her eyes were closed. Her hands were dirty, her hair tangled. But it wasn't the damage that worried the soldiers, it was the silence. No heartbeat sound on the scanner, no thermal reading. But she was breathing. VOSZ arrived in a shuttle and stepped forward slowly. "Is she alive?" he asked. "Yes," said a medic. But what?" "She's different." Vosh knelt beside her. "Mia," he whispered. Her eyes opened. They glowed, not brightly, not like a weapon. Just a faint blue light, like moonlight on water. She blinked slowly, then whispered, "Why are you here?" Vosh leaned closer. "We've been searching for you." She tilted her head. "I didn't ask to be found." Inside Alien Medical Bay, Mia was taken to the high-security alien medical station on Earth. She said nothing. She didn't fight. She didn't run. She just watched. Scientists ran every test. Scans, blood work, neural probes. But the results made no sense. Her brain activity had tripled. Her DNA had changed, not human, not alien. Something new. More advanced. "She is no longer what she was," said Dr. Glor, the alien biospecialist. "She's ahead of us." Vosh asked, "Where? Did she go? Where are the others?" Mia finally spoke, softly. "They're not lost. They're just beyond." "Beyond what?" She turned and looked straight at him. Beyond what you can measure. Galactic Council, emergency meeting. The footage of Mia was shown to every high commander across the galaxy. The girl didn't look threatening. But that's what made it worse. She doesn't resist. She doesn't demand, said Counselor Viorak. And still we fear her. She's just a child, another alien. Leader said, no, Varak replied. She was a child. Now she's something else. Back at the medical bay, Mia sat alone in a glass room. Cameras watched her every second. But none dared enter. Suddenly, the lights blinked. A humming sound filled the air. A nurse ran in. Sir, the other children, we've detected traces. Where? Vosh shouted that. The nurse trembled. Not where, when. Everyone stopped. Vosh stared. Explain. She showed the screen. A spike in dimensional energy. Temporal wave patterns. The children weren't in another city or planet. They were in another time. Meanwhile, inside the room with Mia stood up. Without touching the wall, the glass door slid open. No alarms went off. She stepped out calmly. 5 guards raised their weapons, but their arms began to tremble. Vosh ran in. Don't shoot, stand down. Mia walked straight to him. You're scared, she said. He nodded, honest for the first time. Yes. You should be, she whispered. She walked past him. No one stopped her. The cameras shook. Lights flickered. And then she spoke. But her voice sounded layered, as if more than one person was speaking through her. We were watched, measured, judged. You saw us as weak, but we were never meant to fight your wars. We were meant to end them. Alien ship, observation logs later. Vosh played back her words again and again. He zoomed in on the audio. There were 6 layers in her voice. Not echoes. Not mistakes. 6 different versions of her. Like she existed in more than one place. Or more than one timeline. She's multidimensional, whispered the alien tech. No, Vosh replied. She's human, but from a future we didn't expect. Human news leaks on Earth. Rumors had begun. Some said aliens were stealing children. Others said children were evolving. A few believed Earth had been preparing for this for years, but only one message appeared on every human device worldwide, all at the same second. Do not fear what they became. Fear that you tried to stop it. Governments panicked. Military units demanded action. But it was too late, because the second child had returned. Sector-14, the return of another A-boy, appeared in the middle of a desert. 11 years old, no ID, no footprints. Just there. He looked up at the alien drones. Then he raised his hand, and the drones dropped from the sky. Not exploded. Not shot. Just fell. Dead. Back to Mia. Final revelation. Mia sat in a dark room, surrounded by top alien scientists. One asked, who trained you? She smiled. No one. Then how do you know all this? She looked up. Because we were made to. Made by who? Her answer made the room go cold. By Earth. Earth has no such program, the alien replied. Mia tilted her head. Not your Earth. Scene ends. Hidden human chamber deep under Earth, far from all known maps. A figure watched Mia's footage with a calm smile. She's holding back, he said. Another voice replied from the dark. Yes, just as we planned. Do we show them the others now? No, let them find one more. Then, we open the gate. Final scene. Alien space station self-destruct back on the alien ship Silver Edge. An alarm started. Self-destruct sequence activated. Who triggered it? A message appeared on every screen. One sentence. You shouldn't have watched. U.S. Then silence. The ship vanished in white light. The skies above Earth looked peaceful. But the galaxy knew better now. The children had begun to return. Not all. Just 2 more. But that was enough to send every alien system into red alert. Location, Sector 19, Human Forest Zone. The trees swayed in the wind. Birds flew quietly overhead, but then without a sound 2 shapes appeared in the center of a clearing. Girl and a boy, their feet touched the ground like feathers. Their eyes were open, glowing faint blue. Their faces calm. They were not scared. They were not alone. Alien response. Unit. Arrival in 3 minutes. An alien scout drone saw them first. It scanned them silently. Names confirmed. Elena Wood and Aaron Bishop. Both had vanished in the Hope Valley incident. But something was wrong. The scanner showed their life signals were unstable, like they existed, but DIDN single quotes T. Inside Alien Command Post Commander Vosh stood in front of the live feed. They've returned, a soldier said. Vosh didn't speak. He was watching the trees behind the children. The shadows were moving, but there was no wind. Forest, first contact alien. Soldiers surrounded the clearing. Their weapons hummed quietly. The children stood still. Elena blinked slowly, then smiled. Aaron tilted his head. Curious, Vosh stepped forward carefully. "We're here to help you," he said. Elena looked past him. "We know. Where have you been?" he asked. Aaron replied, "We were shown the truth." Vosh narrowed his eyes. "By who?" The children spoke together, their voices layered. "By what waits in silence." Suddenly motion detected behind them. Scanners screamed. Something huge was moving in the trees, but there were no heat readings. No energy output. Just shifting blackness. It stepped forward, but no foot touched the ground. Like the forest itself moved out of its way. Soldiers raised weapons, shaking. Voss Z shouted, "Stand down, do not fire." But one soldier panicked. He fired. A plasma bolt hit the darkness. Nothing happened. No sound. No burn. Just silence. Then the shadow tilted its head. The soldier dropped his weapon. His mouth opened in terror and he began to scream. Not in pain. In madness. The children react. Elena turned to the shadow. "It's not time yet," she whispered. Aaron nodded. "They don't understand." The shadow paused and stepped back. Into the trees. And vanished. Vosh rushed forward. "What is that thing?" Elena looked at him calmly. "It is what followed us home." Alien medical base. Children quarantined back at base. The 2 children were kept under heavy watch, but nothing could measure them. No medical tool worked near them. Machines stopped. Lights flickered. One nurse tried to place a heart monitor on Aaron's arm. Her hand froze in midair. She could not move. When she looked at him, his eyes were glowing. Then he blinked, and the effect vanished. The nurse dropped to the ground, crying. Inside the quarantine room, Vosh entered with a translator and 2 scientists. He kept his voice steady. "Tell me, what is that shadow? What is it?" Aaron looked up. "It's not one. It's all of them." Vosh frowned. "All of what?" Elena spoke now. "All the eyes that watched us across time. You called them stars. We called them teachers." The scientists looked at each other nervously. Voss Z leaned closer. "Are they hostile?" "No," Elena said softly. "They're waiting. Waiting for what?" "For us to stop pretending we're children." Galactic Council. Broadcast from Earth. An urgent update was sent to the Council. A message from Vosh. 3 children have returned, each one stronger, each one changed. But now they're not alone. Something follows them, something old, something that does not belong to our time. Panic spread in whispers. Some worlds shut their spaceports. Others prepared weapons. Few began praying. Meanwhile, in a human underground chamber, same silver-haired woman from before watched the events unfold. "They're waking up faster than expected," she said. A young man beside her asked, "Should we stop them?" She shook her head. "You can't stop a storm from rising. You just prepare for what comes next." He swallowed hard. "What comes next?" She looked at the glowing map. All of them. Back at the Alien Medical Center, Nightfall security was doubled. But still, something entered. Cameras went blind. Sensors shut off. The guards froze in place. Elena and Aaron were still in their room, eyes closed. A dark shape stood at the window. It did not move. It did not breathe. Then Elena opened her eyes. "You're early," she said. The shadow whispered. But no one heard it. Then it vanished. Moments later, all the guards collapsed. Not dead. Just asleep. Next morning, emergency broadcast. Every alien device on Earth lit up with one message: "You took us for test subjects. Now you're part of the test." Alien leaders panicked. "Is this a threat?" one asked. Voz shook his head. "No, it's a warning." Final scene. One more return on the far edge of Antarctica, deep in frozen caves. Another child returned. But this one was different. She wore no clothes, no shoes, no name, just glowing skin and black eyes. She walked through snow like it was air. And behind her, footsteps, not hers. Something was following her too, but the snow didn't record its shape, just its. Wait. The alien world of Zorak 4 was known for only one thing: its secret research labs, hidden beneath mountains, surrounded by lava rivers, guarded by AI-controlled defense towers. It was where impossible science happened, things too dangerous to test anywhere else. And now, the galaxy had only one request for those labs: study the human children. Inside Zorak 4, arrival of the specimens. 3 of the returned Earth children, Mia, Elena, and Aaron, were taken there without permission from Earth governments. They didn't fight, they simply allowed it. Their faces were calm. Their hearts were still, but their silence terrified the guards more than a battle ever could. Lead scientist Dr. Voktir was proud. "This will be the breakthrough of the millennium," he said. Walking beside tall glass tubes filled with rare gases, "We'll understand what changed them." He looked at his team of 42 alien scientists, each a genius in their field. One raised a concern. "Sir, what if they are not meant to be understood?" Voktir laughed. "Everything can be understood. If not by mind, then by force." That was his first mistake. The tests begin. Each child was placed in a different containment pod, clear walls, floating in anti-gravity fields. No tools or objects allowed. They were watched. Scanned. Measured. Electromagnetic pulses were fired at their brains. No response. Hypnosis waves were sent. No effect. Molecular readers tried to decode their DNA, but the readings changed every second. Elena's brain patterns looked like language, but it wasn't any alien or human code. It was music. Aaron's bones gave off low frequencies, not echoes, coordinates. Mia's blood glowed faintly in total darkness, but not red. White, like starlight. Day 3, the dissection order. Voktir lost patience. "These are not children anymore," he said. "They're tools. And tools can be taken apart." He gave the order to prepare anatomical scans, the first step before full dissection. Other scientists hesitated, but they let us bring them here. Voktir didn't care. He only said, "Then they'll let us open them." Dissection lab. Time, 3 o'clock hours. The room was cold, quiet, full of advanced alien machines. Robotic arms hung from the ceiling. Mia was chosen first. She stood calmly as they strapped her to the slab. She didn't blink, didn't speak, didn't resist. The lasers warmed up. The scanners spun. The lead surgeon approached with a thin blade. He raised it. It never touched her, because at that exact moment, the entire lab went black. Blackout. No power. No exit. No signal. Lights shut off. Screens turned to static. Doors locked from the inside. Outside guards pounded on the walls. No answer. For the next 7 hours, no one knew what happened inside. Next morning, door finally opens when the system rebooted. The lab door slid open by itself. The guards entered slowly. What they found inside froze them. Silence. No bodies. No blood. No bodies. Just Empty clothes. All 42 scientists gone. Only Mia remained, standing in the center of the lab, untouched. She looked up. You weren't ready. Zorak 4 goes dark. The entire moon station was abandoned within the next 48 hours. Every research file corrupted. Every backup turned to noise. The name, Mia, began showing up in the lab systems, typed over every file name, folder, and directory. Even after full deletion. Back on Earth, Human Reaction Earth received no official message from ZOR-4. But the human satellites detected one thing, a sound, a soft, low humming. When the audio was decoded, it revealed an Earth nursery rhyme, Twinkle, twinkle, little star. But sung in 3 voices at once. Alien panic across the stars. The Zorak incident caused mass panic across military planets. Some called for war. Some wanted to flee Earth entirely. One alien general said, "This is no longer about humans. This is about what came back with them." Inside a shadow room, unknown location in a hidden place deep under Earth, 3 human adults watched the news from ZOR. One of them sipped tea. Another smiled. She warned them. He said, "They didn't." "Listen," the woman replied. The third whispered, "She's just a scout. The others are still coming." Mia returns to Earth. No ship, no shuttle, no escort. She simply appeared on a street in New London. CCTV caught her walking calmly through a busy market. Every human within 20 meters. Around her paws frozen. No injuries, just motionless, for exactly 33 seconds. Then they blinked and moved again. None remembered seeing her. Except a child, a small boy, maybe 6 years old, pointed at her and whispered, "You look like me." Mia knelt and smiled. "No, you look like what I used to be." Galactic Council, urgent vote. The vote was clear. Earth was to be quarantined. No ships in, no ships out, not because of danger to Earth, but because of danger from it. They still thought they were protecting themselves. They had no idea. The real change was already inside them. Final scene. New voice on Earth at a private school in Australia. A teacher noticed something strange. Children stopped using their pencils. They stared at the board. And the words wrote themselves. Math answers appeared before the questions. Finished. One girl looked at the teacher and said, "We're not learning anymore. We're remembering." "Remembering what?" the teacher asked. The girl's eyes glowed. Faint blue. What Earth forgot. They were waiting for the next move. Aliens across the stars watched Earth in silence. They didn't know what to expect next. But they never expected him. The quiet one. His name was Darren Cole. He had vanished in the first wave of disappearances. A soft-spoken, 12-year-old boy from a small town in Canada. Unlike the others who returned earlier, Darren hadn't come back. No one saw him. No camera recorded him. No alien sensor found him. He simply wasn't there. Until now. He appeared in orbit. A Terran Space Observatory picked up a signal. No ship, no energy field, no heat signature. Just a boy standing in open space, above Earth. Alive. Eyes closed, arms at his sides. Floating. Like the stars were holding him up. The galaxy panicked. The Zorvan High Priest screamed in his sleep, "He's here!" Alien fleets moved to intercept. The Galactic Council sent 12 ships to surround the boy, weapons charged, shields up. No warning, but as they approached him, all ships stopped. Not by choice. Every control panel froze. Artificial gravity shut off. Engines locked. And the crews? They couldn't move, not even blink. Darren opened his eyes. He spoke one word, the word no one knew. No translator could catch it. It wasn't in any known tongue. Not human. Not alien. It didn't sound spoken. It felt like it was felt inside the mind. And the moment that word was released into space, the planet shook. Not Earth. ZRION-5, a planet hundreds of light years away, suffered a quake so strong broke its moon in half. The quake came before their sensors detected the word dot, as if time itself trembled. Back on Earth, shockwaves felt. In dreams, millions of humans across Earth woke up screaming the same word, Varesh. They didn't know what it meant, neither did linguists Dot, but those who said it couldn't say anything else for days. Their minds were stuck in a loop, alien. Religions collapsed. The word Varesh began appearing in ancient alien temples, on walls, on scrolls, on bones long buried. Archaeologists confirmed it was never there before. Something was rewriting the past, or reminding the present. Priests fell to their knees. Prophets stayed silent. One alien monk walked into the sea and vanished. After whispering, he spoke the first word. Meanwhile, Darren Lanzi landed without sound. No heat, no pressure. He stood in the middle of an empty stadium in New York, where cameras caught him smiling, not at the people, but at the sky. As if someone was watching from above. Press conference. The United Nations begged him for answers. Why are you here? One reporter asked. Where have you been? Darren replied softly, I didn't go anywhere, I just remembered who I was. A human general stepped forward. Who are you then? Darren looked at him. Not me, all of us. What does that mean? He pointed to the sky. They didn't give us powers. They gave us back what we forgot. Our beginning was not on Earth. We are older than this planet. The room went silent. Aliens tried to hide. Many species stopped transmitting. They feared what would happen if he said another word. But Darren didn't speak again. He simply walked across deserts, through oceans, over frozen peaks. Wherever he went, gravity shifted slightly. People behind him found memories they never lived. A woman in Chile remembered flying across Saturn's rings. A man in Japan drew star maps with his eyes closed. Child in Nigeria sang a song that made metal melt. Darren kept walking. Inside a secret base, alien spies plant and alien spies met in a hidden bunker. We need to stop him before he speaks again. He's a human. No, not anymore. One held up a weapon designed to erase memory, the mind pulse. If we can't kill him, we'll make him forget who he is. They waited for Darren near an ancient human site. The Nazca lines. They prepared. They aimed. They activated the pulse. But it backfired. The weapon exploded in their hands before it even fired. Not from malfunction, from fear. Each spy fell to their knees. One cried, I saw my birth and death at once. Another whispered, he is the word. Darren walked past them, not touching them, just looking. And as he did, they forgot their names, They forgot why they came. They forgot their species. Only one thing remained in their minds, Varesh. Human scientists try to understand. Back at Earth's leading lab, Dr. Helena Frey watched hours of footage. She used AI, old languages, even ancient carvings. Finally, one system gave a translation. Varesh equals awaken. She dropped her tablet. That wasn't a word, she whispered. It was a key. The children feel it too in cities across the world. The other returned children stopped suddenly. Each looked to the sky. They whispered the same word, Varesh. And when they did, they began to glow. Their bones hummed. The ground under their feet cracked gently, like something beneath was waking up. The one below moves deep beneath Earth's crust, older than fossils, larger than continents. Something shifted, not a monster, not a god. A presence. Waiting. It had heard the word, and now it remembered its name. Final scene. A warning sent. One alien race, the Giacalthi, had survived ancient galactic wars. They recognized the signs. They broadcast a single message to every world. You feared Earth for its weapons. You mocked it for its weakness. But Earth was not a home. It was a seal, and now it has been opened. The galaxy had made a decision. Earth must be sealed. No more words. No more A WAKENING. No more return of what should have stayed forgotten. The Sky Shield. Project The Galactic Council launched Project Veil. The goal was simple: block Earth's sky, seal the planet, cut off everything outside and everything inside. 12 massive satellites were placed around Earth's orbit, each one the size of a city. Together, they created a sky shield, a synthetic layer of black energy. No light in. No signals out. No stars visible. Earth was wrapped in total silence, or so they thought. First 24 hours human reaction: the sun vanished. So did the moon. The stars blinked out like candles. Panic hit the cities. Plants started dying. Animals grew restless. Birds refused to fly. People wept. The world felt wrong, but the children didn't cry. They looked up at the black sky and whispered, "They think light comes from above." Inside a military base, Earth's leaders meet. Top generals, scientists, and world leaders gathered in secret. "We can't reach our satellites. Communications are blocked. No signals get out." A woman in uniform asked, "How long can we survive without the sun?" The scientist answered, "Maybe 30 days. A silent moment followed. Then a voice spoke from the corner. A child stood there. Aaron. No one saw him enter. He said, "You're looking up, but the answer is below." Underground movements without orders. Earth's underground volcanoes began to hum. Tectonic plates shifted, but not in destructive ways. Instead of earthquakes, glowing tunnels formed deep beneath the crust. Scientists sent drones. The drones never came back. Only one returned burned, melted, but still recording. Its final footage showed something impossible. A sky underground. Stars, moons, even a sun. Inside Earth. As if the planet held its own universe. Alien panic spreads. Project Veil was supposed to isolate Earth, but Earth was still active. The sealed sky didn't weaken the planet. It strengthened it. Alien ships near the shield began to fail. Their systems crashed. One ship's captain screamed before disappearing, "Something's reaching up through the ground. It's touching the stars from below." In the desert, Darin appears again. He stood alone in the Sahara. Above him, the black shield. Below him, sand. He raised one hand, not toward the sky, but toward the ground. He whispered something only the wind heard. The earth shook. A beam of golden light shot straight upward from the ground. It punched through the black sky like a sword. The shield cracked. Then shattered. Light returned. Stars reappeared. But this time, they looked closer than before. Inside the Galactic Council, chaos. This was impossible. The shield was unbreakable. Who helped them? But the recordings from the orbiting satellites showed no weapons. No attacks. Only one thing. A boy standing in the desert, and the ground opening its eyes. The other children joined in across Earth. The returned children walked to specific locations. None spoke to each other, but they all moved with purpose. In the Himalayas, Mia touched a glacier. It turned transparent and revealed a structure hidden for millennia. In the Amazon, Alina touched a tree. It unfolded like paper, revealing a doorway glowing with blue symbols. In the Arctic, Juno placed her hand on the ice, and it melted perfectly into a spiral staircase that led downward. Each place lit up like stars on a map. They were not random. They were keys. The global awakening people started seeing lights underground, dreaming of oceans in the sky, hearing music in silence. They said things like, "I feel like something inside me is trying to wake up. My memories aren't just mine anymore. I see people I've never met, but I know them." Something ancient and connected was rising. The one who feared it most, High Chancellor Krell of the Raltec Empire, watched in horror. He had studied Earth for centuries. He knew stories no one else dared speak. He whispered to his guards, "It's not Earth that's dangerous. It's what Earth was built to hide. And now we've peeled the skin off a god." Return of the sky, but it's not the same Earth's real sky returned. But now, strange stars blinked in patterns. Constellations changed shape when no one looked. Moons appeared where there were none before. A scientist checked her telescope and gasped, "There's a second sun in our sky." The second sun blinked. Like an eye, a voice heard across Earth. Then it came. Not spoken, not transmitted. Felt. Heard by every mind at once. From babies to elders. The voice said, "The sky is not above you. The sky is within you." They tried to erase it, but you remembered. Final scene. The Veil tries again. The Galactic Council tried once more. They fired the star net, a massive energy trap meant to fold Earth into a pocket dimension. But as the net descended, something rose from Earth. Not a weapon, not a machine. Shape made of light and memory. It touched the star net, and it vanished like fog in the sun. One alien engineer collapsed and said, "We tried to erase their sky, but their sky erased us." The council was done waiting. Earth had broken the sky. Light was rising from the ground. Children were walking through walls of time. The veil failed. The now, something older than the stars, was stirring inside Earth. So the galaxy did what it swore it never would. They summoned ancients. The return of the old ones. No one alive had ever seen them. The beings that built the first stars. The ones who carved moons like clay. The ones who locked away whole galaxies because they shined too loud. The ancients had left long ago, but now they came back. 5 of them. Each as large as a continent. Wrapped in armor made from dying suns. With names no language could pronounce. They appeared in space near Earth, and one of them spoke. "This world forgot its chains. We will remind it." Earth responds with silence. No missiles fired. No ships launched. No warnings. The planet stayed quiet, but the ground trembled. Not from fear. From pressure building below. The children gathered at a single spot, an old forest near the center of the planet's oldest continent. They stood in a circle. They closed their eyes. Darren was among them. And they whispered, "We are ready." The ancients begin their attack. One raised a hand and a sun dimmed. Another opened its mouth, and space folded inward. They aimed at Earth. The beams began to fall, but time slowed. The beams froze in midair. Birds stopped flying. Leaves stopped moving. Even the stars seemed to pause. Only the children moved. And from their circle, a second Earth appeared. Not physical, but made of light, memory, energy. And inside it, the true form of humanity began to show. They weren't just flesh. They were fragments of something older than the ancients. They were reminders. The ancients see and remember. One of the ancients turned its head slowly. Its eyes, if they were eyes, widened. Its voice cracked. "No, not again. We locked you away." Another whispered, "You were the first lights, the ones that walked between atoms." And another fell to its knees. Its knees cracked. Moons as it landed. Darren steps forward. His voice was calm. Kind. Angry, but final. "You didn't create the stars. We did. You just lit them after we left." The ancients tried to rise. They couldn't. Darren raised one hand. And the stars above Earth bowed. Every child speaks. The children spoke in unison, a single voice across the planet. "We were scattered. You broke us into billions. You made us forget. But memory returns. You cannot erase what remembers itself." The ancients began to shake. One tried to run. It vanished before moving. Another begged, "Let us forget. Let us sleep." Darren looked up at them, then sleep. And they did. Their bodies turned to stardust. Their names erased from time. Only silence remained. The galaxy watches in silence. Billions of species listened. Watched. And understood something awful. Humans weren't rising. They were returning to what they had once been. Inside a human mind, the full truth awakens. A girl in a small village blinked. And saw it all. Before Earth. Before planets, before time. They were one, a single light. Split into many. Each child was a piece, and now the pieces were waking up. Not gods, not monsters. Just reminders. Final message from Earth: no threats. No invasions. Just a signal sent to the stars. Every ship, every station, every alien homeworld received it at the same time. The message read, "We are not angry. We are not coming. We are home. And this time we remember." Last scene, a child looks to the sky. Darren sat by a quiet lake. The sky above was full of stars again, but they seemed closer now. Brighter. Warmer. A little girl sat beside him. "Will we leave?" she asked. Darren smiled. "No. They already did." She tilted her head. "Who?" He looked at the water. "Our fears."